See if we can make sure we can hear you.
I'm pretty sure we can hear me. It's my equipment.
I can hear him too.
Awesome. That's awesome. So we're going to end up starting, and I'll introduce you. Andy, this is Gary that's on the other end of this. Come on,
hey,
computer.
Gary, how are you, buddy? There you are.
And my other two co-hosts will be here shortly. They are running behind because they're about an hour and a half north of us.
Okay.
And we can start whenever you're ready.
All right. You want me to cue the music?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cue the music.
This program is intended for a mature audience. If you are not 18 or older, stop listening and find more age-appropriate content. This show will cover topics in a satirical manner. If you are offended by any content herein, that is your own problem. As you have been warned, please do not try this at home.
So I don't hear the music. That's a good thing, right?
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports.
Okay, all right.
Oh, hell no!
Hey, hon, can you pour me another glass of wine, please? All right, whatever.
And welcome to Blown Pistons. I'm your host, Gremlin Dave. Sitting to my right...
Are ya?
Kind of. I attempt to be. Sitting to my right is Hammer.
Oh, hey, it's Hammer.
Yeah. And we
I'm
have
sorry, I was just listening to the live feed for our guest to ask for a glass of wine.
And our special guest tonight is retired NASCAR driver, ARCA driver, and mechanic, owner of his own shop, Andy-Belmont.
Hi, boys and girls. How are you?
So, I know
I'm doing well. How are you,
good.
Dave?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Living a dream, man. Life's good.
There you go. So, I've been kind of fanboying it lately and going through, I guess, stalking all your Facebook stuff so I didn't look like, well, Facebook, YouTube, everything, so I didn't look like an idiot trying to talk to you. You have had a really great career. I mean, as far as, like, everything you've accomplished is awesome because not a lot of people can say they've been in your shoes and what you've accomplished.
I don't know. I appreciate the comment and the thought process. I don't know that, I don't, how do I say this properly? I got to dance at the head table. You know what I mean? I got to play at the head table. We both know, we all know, I was too dumb to quit. I was driving a shit box, but it's just, you just, I wanted to do it in the worst way. Still do to this day. I mean, literally today, I turned 64 years old today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I got out of bed at 4:30 this morning. I went to the guy that prepares when I buy new race cars and stuff, the guy that is the dealer. He prepared a car for me, so we got our second car ready. We're taking 3 cars to Florida in February to race Alltech and Bubba Raceway. I think it's Bubba. Anyway, dirt track. But, I love racing, and it's what makes me tick. And, when I was a younger man, I was much more naive to the way of the world. And I believed at that time in my life that a guy that wanted it bad enough, could chase the dream and make it work. I didn't understand in my 30s the politics and the bullshit and the whole, how the whole thing works. If you're not one of the chosen few, and I don't mean that with any disrespect. I mean, when you see a guy like Kyle Larson, I mean, that kid could show up with a wheelbarrow and win and whip their ass.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
he
is
watching
just
this year and everything in what he did on the off season and everything. Yeah, I mean, the guy's amazing.
I mean, I watched him last year in a sprint car do things against the world of outlaws, the best of the best. and just make them look like. And I'm going to tell you something. I mean, Donnie Schatz is one hell of a race car driver. And just, Larson just put it on him. You know what I mean? So, when you go against the Outlaws, the best that they've got, and you just go flat ass wear them out. Yeah. The kid's got talent. And so there's always going to be, in our world, as you know, there's always going to be a Jeff Gordon, a Tony Stewart, a David Pearson, Richard Petty, the way time went. There's always going to be that guy that is just head and shoulders above the rest. And it really doesn't matter. I mean, when you think in Larson in particular, think about how, and this is no disrespect meant to anybody, please. It's not. But Ganassi's shit isn't any better than Childers, okay? Yeah. And he was winning with it. You know what I mean? So that you put him in Hendrick stuff, it's like, oh my God. It's like taking candy from a baby. And this kid's not done winning anytime soon. Yeah. So now that he's with Hendrick, it's going to be. But anyway, all I'm getting at is, I had a dream. I wanted to be there. I was willing to do whatever it took. Yeah. Some of those mountains were bordering on insanity. When you look back, but I did it. I raced with Harrigan. I raced with Dale Earnhardt. I did business with.
I don't mean to.
I did business.
I gotta just pause you for 1 second because my other two co-hosts just showed up. I just want to introduce them real quick.
Nice to show up, guys. Nice to get here.
But I have Tiff is with us and Tony.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Tip and Tony.
Yep.
That sounds like something on the menu at Tubby's Bar Driving. Anyway.
But, no, I mean, so you don't think it was Chip Ganassi's equipment that was holding him back? Or because, I mean, I know Hendrick has...
No, I do. I think that, Chip is a great guy and great organization. Obviously, his Indy cars are Mac Daddy. But, there's a level that Hendrick, Gibbs, and Penske play in that the other guys just don't get to play at that level. There's just no other way to put it. And there's no disrespect intended to anybody. It's just a matter of, I think it's really cool. Look at what Colleague is doing. Guy comes in, hires a bunch of guys that are just rabid race car guys. They just want to race. It's not about the money. It's the Colleague thing to me is refreshing because it's still about racing. It's not about the politics and the nonsense and the bullshit because there's plenty of it. You know what I mean? They just want to race. And he's giving them the resources and the guys that are there, they just want it so bad. And that's just like, man, that's kind of how it was. I mean, my whole life. And so I appreciate you noticing, but it's kind of, on one hand, it's really cool that you notice, but on the other hand, it's like, listen, I didn't win the most races in a sportsman car, modified car. Certainly, I was a back marker in the Cup level. We never really set the world on fire. I had some good runs in a Busch car, but not. We were fast, but we didn't, like a lot of people. I'm one of those guys. I don't believe in the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Either you produced or you didn't. So we were there. We were in the show, but we didn't. We didn't win. And my situation with the Busch thing was a little bit weird because, I got asked to drive after Clifford got killed, and I jumped in the car and saw Clifford's name on the roof. And I mean, there's some weird stuff there, but when you race cars for a living and opportunities are presented to you, you kind of, you look at everything and you go, screw it. I'm just going for it. You know what I mean? And that's end of the day. There's no way I can explain to you that some of the stuff made sense because it didn't. I mean, you look back and you go, but given the decisions I made with the information I had at the time I would have done the same shit all over again. It's just how it is.
Okay. Well, I know, like, listening to some of the interviews and stuff like that, and I love the interview where I found you, and it was on the Rise of the Field Fillers. That guy does a really good job, and the interview he did with you was really, really cool. I mean, just the fact of what you were talking about. I mean, your history with NASCAR. I love the one story where the guy came in and tried to tell you what to do with the car, I believe, and you told him to basically go to hell, and it was like one of the president of NASCAR or something like that, one of the head guys. And
well,
not really go to hell, but you were like, this is how I run. And
you know, I unfortunately, you know, when I was in my 30s and I was trying to run Cup, I didn't understand that there was politics involved. See, I came from dirt racing, where you show up with the best stuff you could build. You start it wherever they told you to start in heat race. You blasted your ass to the front the best you could.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ended up being decent in the point leader like we were, you started 13th to 18th every night.
And guys,
and you know, you had 15, 20 laps to get to the front. You built the best stuff you could. You brought the best car you could. Brought the best gun to the gunfight, and you blasted to the front. I didn't know when I got to the Cup level that that's not how it works. I didn't know that you just bring the best gun you could to the gunfight and you fire away. I didn't realize that's how it was.
Okay.
So, you know, some of that stuff is, you know, Brock did a great job. He asked me pointed questions. He let me run with the ball. And I really appreciate guys recognizing that there's guys like me,
mm-hmm.
Jack Sprague,
like
Carl Long, Mike Potter. I mean, there's a lot of guys that got run over every week, running 30th. Okay. And we were just there because we wanted to be there. We were, you know, we literally had our mortgage payment on it was the tire bill. And if we didn't make a certain level, you couldn't pay your mortgage payment. It was just, it was that touch and go. And it was a time where it's hard to make folks out there understand, because today it's become so, you know, there's such pomp and circumstance and glitter, and you have all this crap that's out there with, you know, that dude that's driving for Michael Jordan, and, you know, all the garbage that's out there. I mean, it's not about racing anymore. It's just like, I mean, I'm so.
There's a lot more advertising in politics.
Well, I have to tell you, bring some of these guys to Bridgeport Speedway on a Saturday night. Bring them to Grandview Speedway on a Saturday night. Bring them to New Egypt Speedway on a Saturday night. Bring them to, you know, I don't know. I just go to Stafford. Come to Wall Stadium. Bring some of these guys with their you know, perceived talent.
Mm-hmm.
And let's race against the best of the best on Saturday night. Let's put them in one of my cars. We won 2 championships this year. You come on out and drive one of my cars, all right? And I'll put you up against the kid that's driving my stuff. Let's just see how you do. Because it's the whole thing is just, it's become, you know, this is the, look, this show is kind of cool. So you can say whatever I want to say.
Yep, go ahead. You are free.
Not going to edit it out. But, you know, it's not only who you know and who you blow. It's how you blow who you know, you know. It's kind of a it's kind of a, it's become less about, like, the Kyle Larson thing is so refreshing. Like, it's the whole, like, you could almost predict that they were going to give him a speeding penalty next to last race. Okay. Mm-hmm. You're going to predict all the they threw all the rocks at him they could, and he still beat them at their game,
Yeah.
But you can almost predict that. You can predict the debris caution. You can predict the whole. It's so aggravating to me at this point in my life. And again, it's show business. Here's the problem. You have to understand. It's not about racing. It's not about racing. Stopped being about racing a long time ago. That's why I love what I do on Saturday nights. I love still going to the racetrack. I still eat a dirt sandwich on a Saturday night. I still love going to the diner with the guys. It's racing, and it's put your best foot forward. And the crap that's out there now it's so political, and it's so this nonsense that they're doing right now. The feedback is not good. But you're not getting that from the media. You're not getting the whole controlled thing about this new car deal, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems.
With the new car and everything, or just the way everything's set up now?
Absolutely. The new car is got issues. The new car is, first and foremost, on the pit stops, the right side single nut. You turn it backwards. You turn it counterclockwise to tighten. Go lefty. In our world, lefty loosey, righty tighty. That's not how it is. It gets back to the 50s and 60s where you have one side, the left side tightens going left. The right side tightens going left. The left side tightens going right.
I suppose they have to do that just due to the fact of how the one single nut and the way the car tire rotates and all that crap.
Correct. That's all. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's not new, okay? But this is how it works, all right? So it's new. The next problem is the wheels are coated. The coating, the nuts don't seat into the coating. So once you run a lug nut on a wheel in a pit stop, now you have to dress and coat. You have to dress the wheel where the taper is.
Oh, wow.
Because the nut, they don't tell you that a wheel fell off at Charlotte. They don't tell you that stuff.
No, they just want to give the positive.
They're giving you all the positive, not telling you that car had a wheel fall off. They're not telling you. Anyway, so, and I don't want to be the complete Grim Reaper on this thing. I think they'll figure it out because in reality, this car is nothing more than an IMSA GTP car from 3-4 years ago. I mean, they're rehashing old technology that's already out there. This is not brand new crap.
Okay.
So this is stuff that's out there. So they'll get it. They'll get it figured out. But when the drivers are all bitching, and they're all bitching, nobody gets out of the car, says anything nice about these cars. But you're not hearing that. That's not what's out there. But anyway, so back to the whole thing. I don't want to completely sound like I'm throwing rocks at these guys. I'm not.
Well, it could be worse. They could be driving your original number 14.
Well, yeah, they could be. They could be, what they...
I, too, have done research, Dave.
Well, I would hope so. The producer would know what he's talking about.
Well, it's the 1980s. For what I'm talking about there, folks out there in listener land, it's the 1980s dirt modified car, number 14. Just give that a good Google. Andy-Belmont number 14 car. It's wow.
Do we need to get our sponsor out too, by the way?
Which one?
Vapor.
Yes, we will.
Okay, I just didn't know if
we will.
All right. But, I mean, so...
Speaking of sponsorships, Belmont Racing and all that. And then Dave's like, hey, didn't we forget something at the top of the show?
Jackie's used to that.
Yeah, Jackie's going to kill us.
Ain't the first time.
So, Andy, do you mind if I shout a sponsor out real quick?
I'll be disappointed if you don't.
All
this
right.
is how the world turns, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, guys, if you like what you're hearing, check out our lovely sponsor at idealvaporllc.com. Use the code BHN 15% at checkout for 15% off all of your purchases upon checkout. I said it redundantly. So, guys, again, check them out live and on scene. And Portage, Wisconsin, great facility, fantastic facility. Can't say enough about the facility being awesome because why? There's a pool table. There's a lounge. There's a knowledgeable staff. There's a kiosk. You can sign up for your rights to vape and other bad habits, etc. And also, they have a nice CBD Plus section over there. We're going to say CBD Plus section because it's Wisconsin. We suck.
And they got a picture of Hammer where you can flip him off and say "fuck him."
Yep. And every time you walk in that store in person and tell them that Hammer sent you, Hammer gets fired.
And they charge you more.
And they charge you less. Actually, they hook you up with a nice little throw in there when you say, "Hey, Bad Habits Network sent you." So again, that website is idealvaporllc.com. Use the code BHN, 15% at checkout. That is in Portage, Wisconsin, locally. So, guys, thank you again for listening to that little diatribe. Back to you, Dave, and everyone else.
Okay. So,
going to have my Moscow Mule now.
You do that. So, you started like a lot of the older gentlemen did when it was like the short tracks and stuff like that. It was, did you start in like the go-karts too? Because I know that brings up a lot of the younger talent now. But
you guys are asking me questions about a long time ago. All right?
we didn't realize this was going to be Andy Belmont. This was your life.
Well, you can say pass if you want to.
the world has changed quite a bit. There's always been, the quarter midgets and that kind of thing, but technology has changed all that quite a bit. I did the go-kart thing way back when. I raced snowmobiles. If it was a motor and capable of going fast, I was, dirt bike, mini bike, motorcycle, whatever. Because a lot of that stuff you had access to, but if you didn't have a license, you weren't old enough yet. That's your only option, to go fast. So, but when I was prior to having a driver's license, my father would drop me off at this guy's race shop. And we would work on his cars, and then one of the guys would bring me home because I didn't have a driver's license. And then the driver, he owned the car. The other partner owned the motor. That partnership went sideways. I ended up remaining friends with both of them, so I acquired the car and the motor. And I bought the car, Dad bought the motor, and that really is how it started. And it was that very first car was a guy by the name of Red Coffin that ran Reading, built the car. It was a leaf spring rear, trailer bar front, which you guys have no idea what that is. But, it was a very primitive dirt modified way back when. But that's how we started. And then, I tore the fence down just about every week and learned how to fix them pretty good. And they were junkyard parts, so we were scavenging junkyards and that kind of thing. But it's, it's how we started. And I just, we always had decent looking stuff. I mean, listen, I got to tell you, and I think you're smart enough to understand this. When you're young and you're a racer and you're just dying to do this, you're so beaming proud of what you've built, but the reality of it is you don't know that it's a shit box. Okay. you just are, you're too proud to know that you're outclassed until you actually get there and get outclassed on a racetrack, Yeah. And then the learning curve is very steep. But I was blessed because I had, my dad, my Uncle Charlie raced sprint cars in the 40s with the old AAA. And then my dad was car chief, crew chief, doctor, of all trades, so to say, on NASCAR's convertible division in the late 50s. I grew up going to the racetrack every Saturday night. We went to, East Windsor or Reading on a Friday night, went to Flemington on Saturday nights, and Nazareth on Sunday nights. That's all I knew. I grew up just, we were kind of bred into it, so to say.
Yeah.
And then that first car was, it was primitive. You look back and you look at the pictures and you go, wow. But I built it, built the body, I didn't know anything about any of that crap. When I was 16, 17 years old, we hand built a body, and, we literally took sheet metal, rolled it over a acetylene bottle, and we bent electrical conduit with an electrical conduit bender, and we brazed it to the panels, and the panels warped, and you had to fill them with Bondo, and it's nothing like what it is today. But anyway,
Tony, you got a comment on that one, Tony?
Yeah,
go ahead, Tony. Lay it on me. You're quiet over there, buddy.
Talk into the mic.
I can definitely see this in my head.
Remember, shaft, not head. There you go.
Yeah.
So our mics look like, we always jokingly refer to them as like penises, so you got to talk into the shaft on these.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. All right.
Yeah, those days are long gone of actually
But
having
anyway,
to work.
So Tony had a question?
No, I was comment. I was like,
You got to get closer to the mic, Tony.
Yeah, you're very
there's just
quiet.
way too many.
Anyway, I was, how do I say this to you? I was too blind to know anything more than I just wanted to be there. I wanted the best stuff I could get. So the first year we had this home-built car.
Yeah.
Red Coffin did the chassis. We did the body. We got a great motor from back then. Billy Gettle did the motor. Anyway, tore the fence down. We crashed 17 times in 26 weeks, but we were fast. I was one of those guys. Most of my career, I brought you back either a steering wheel or a trophy, one or the other. And we just 77. I got connected somehow with John Burnett and Howie Krantz, and we got the first of our Burnett cars, and we were fast out of the box. We crashed big, but we won a couple. And then I went to work for Burnett, and then I learned quite a bit about the industry, the business, and how it all works. And that was being tutored by Howie Krantz was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because when you learn the geometry, then when you're out there in a race car, it just something clicks on how to make you understand it. And then I worked for Burnett for a few years, and then I got to I drove Bob Fisher's car in 1980. I drove Pete Haraka's cars Haraka built them. They were Whitey Memoir's cars. I drove in 81, and they were carbon copies of the Grant King cars. I mean, they were phenomenal race cars to drive. So it was kind of a deal where it started out auspicious debut, if you will, but I got to drive some pretty good race cars, and then I was never content to I didn't want to just always stay at that level. I was pushing forward because I wanted to be a Cup guy.
Yeah.
And I would do whatever it took to be a Cup guy. And my first NASCAR race was at Pocono. Never sat in a blacktop car in my life. Qualifying was fogged out, and I got a provisional by the promoter because he paid for me to be there. And we finished fifth in the first car. First time I ever sat in a blacktop race at Pocono. And I ended up buying cars from the guys I drove for, and it was just we won Rookie of the Year in '87, won a championship in '88. Mm-hmm. And then, it just kind of evolved. I don't know how to explain it to you, but there was a lot of heartache along the way. A lot of, I have to tell you, I look back and tell you, listen, I would not have changed anything. Please don't take it any other way than that. But I shit on family life. I shit on my kids. It's you don't mean to do that. When you look back and you reminisce, and you're my age now, you look back and you go, wow, but when you're a racehorse with blinders on and you're only looking forward, you have no ability to have any peripheral vision and see what's going on around you. The only thing in your brain is go to the next race. Mm-hmm. there's a lot of things that fall through the cracks. And, I got my first divorce. She left me with the kids. So here I am preparing race cars in the shop. I got kids in cribs in the shop. The cribs and the playpens are in the race shop. All right.
That's dedication.
And, it's just it's a, some people would call it interesting. I'd say it's probably pretty screwed up, but it's how it was. It's what we did. And then, we just, I got my first ride in a NASCAR car was just really strange. And then how I got my first cup ride was even more strange. We were winning races. I was not the biggest winner, but we were winning races.
Yeah.
But Doc Mattioli called me and said he liked how I handled myself with the media, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you had some pretty good interviews from what I've seen on there.
Well, I'm not the most calm guy either when things go sideways, but, we did some things. Literally, Doc Mattioli called Belmont's where, I ended up owning now, but I didn't then. And, Dad's like, it's another one of your freaking race car calls, and I picked it up as Doc Mattioli, owner of Pocono Raceway, and he's like, hey, can you meet my limousine's going to pick you up tomorrow, and I need you to ride with Bobby Allison and go do a tour of Philadelphia. I'm like, okay. And then they took me to the Hilton in Northeast Philadelphia, and I met the guy that I was going to drive for. I saw the race car for the very first time.
Nice.
Seat didn't fit, nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they put it all together, and then, and Mattioli, Doc Mattioli, he went so far as hooking me up with sponsors. And I wasn't smart enough to recognize this is, if you play the game right, this is how it works. I didn't know it was a game. I didn't get all that, So, but he lined me up with a sponsor, and then that sponsor came on for 87. So we won Rookie of the Year. And then I won Hickory in my rookie year, which was kind of cool. You look back now and you go, these places, they're so steeped in tradition and history, and you go, wow, I won my first NASCAR race at Hickory, But, that all started because of Doc Mattioli, and then that kind of got the ball rolling. And then, I was leading points in 88 when I got hurt at Charlotte, but I was running a 2-car team. We actually still won the championship with Larry Cottle, but I ended up sitting out. And then, but it's kind of cool. Eddie Pearson drove for me. Bill Hennessy drove for me. Bill's best finish in a dash car was in one of my cars. Eddie Pearson qualified third, I think, in Charlotte with us with our cars. I wanted it so bad. I just was doing whatever it took. I literally opened a speed shop in Lexington, North Carolina, for the specific interest of building dash cars, so that I could just, and at the time, everybody was driving a Richard Mass or a Bobby Wellman car, and Bobby built great race cars. But anyway, I just came down there and I was like a fresh face. I'm like, well, these are small stock cars. Why don't we just put a Troyer modified front end on them? Let's take a stock, cage. Let's just put a Troyer clip on the front so we can make them the same as a NASCAR modified up on that run Stafford and Shangri-La and all that, And that's what we did. And then we won. Well, in 88, we led 96% of the laps run, and we won. In 2 years, we won 15 races and 28 starts with my cars. So I was pretty proud of that, But it's stuff that we built, and it's technology that I didn't dream it of. I just thought, let's take Troyer front clip. Let's take the center section from Wellman, and let's take the tail clip, and let's change it to this, that, and the other. And, we kind of come up with our own concept. But anyway, that's how it all went. I just kept working. I just wanted it. I'm telling you, if I could have gotten away without sleeping, I'd have done it. I'd have been in the shop working. That's just how we work.
Now, I think Tony had a question for you. Cause did you or
No, it was a comment.
Oh, okay. We finally got his mic set up.
It works.
Another comment?
No, it was the one from before.
Okay, I didn't hear it. So
yeah, your dedication and actual building of cars is long gone. Everything's all done by either CNC or fab. It's nothing like it used to be.
Well, I guess I have to tell you, my point of view was, I'm not a guy that wanted to line up like a penguin and follow. Okay. I just, I will never, as long as I live, forget, guys that I trusted and believed in kept always saying, and they pounded it in my head, was, if you're not leading, the scenery never changes. Okay. So there was times where, I can tell you this with conviction. I drove a house car for Kneisels in 84, and we won Middletown first night out with the car, brand new race car. Transmission wouldn't hardly go into gear. Truck broke down on the way, all the bullshit you can ever imagine. Anyway, we win the feature at Middletown. We won the opener at Nazareth with that car. And then we took it back, and the guy that built the car wanted to cut the torsion rack out of the car. It's like we weren't fast enough. We're winning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So we cut the tail tip off a brand new race car. And then I took it to East Windsor and drove off in the corner and rolled the son of a bitch over because the frame drug in the ground, But I was trained to not ever be content with good or good enough, or, we won by 2 car lengths. We didn't want to win by 2 car lengths. We needed to win by straightaway. We needed to lap the field. We didn't lap the field. We weren't good enough. You know what I mean? So, and so that always put me in the mode to always build, always keep fluffing and buffing. And, I never really fell in love with race cars because how people always say, oh, they love this car, that car. I had 1 or 2 cars in my career that I wish I had back, but over the years, we'd get a car pretty good, and then I would go, we need to do a bunch of changes here. We would change the roll cage. We would change the offset. We'd do a whole bunch of things, just build a new mousetrap. And sometimes it really worked, and sometimes it was a colossal disaster. But it was a real learning experience, and I feel like today's drivers don't have any of that. They came out through quarter midgets, they jumped into legend cars, they went to Bandoleros, they went to legends, they went to legacy cars, they went to wherever. Okay, and somehow they got a fast track into a cup opportunity, and they never worked on any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And so they don't have a, it's actually quite interesting if you go to a test and you see the guys at the PI system and data feedback in the cars, and the engineer's telling the guy what the car is doing, because his ass is not telling you anything. When I let me tell you something. When you drive off in the corner at Pocono, you get down to those, you're going down that long straightaway and it goes 3, 2, 1, and you're 205 at the number 1 driving that bitch off in the corner. The deal is your ass puckers up pretty hard if the car is a little loose. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but today these guys don't have that feeling because they got engineers telling them, oh, well, let's change this shim or let's do this or that. You don't have a Ryan Newman in his prime, a Mark Martin. There were some guys that were just freaking in a different zip code. They were just that much better because they had that feel under them in the car. Today, you don't need to have that because you got 40 engineers telling you what to do.
Kind of like what they used to say with Earnhardt, where you could see the air. When, driving to Talladega and Daytona, we'd always be like, well, I can see the air. That's how I know how to pass and where to go and everything.
There are guys like Earnhardt that just had a sixth sense. Okay. Don't get me wrong, there are guys who have won races who have done well, but there are some guys that are just, Jeff Gordon. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why people didn't like him. I got no idea. His popularity seems to be better now that he's a TV broadcaster than it. He had people that loved him and he had people that just despised him. And I think the ones that despised him were the ones that were Earnhardt fans when he kicked their ass,
Yeah.
But that kid, I seen him in a sprint car at East Bay when he's 13 years old. I'm like, this kid is unfreaking real,
Yeah.
There are guys like that, like Earnhardt. Yes, when they say he could see the air, look, you and I both know you can't see air, but he could feel. There's something, I don't know how to explain it to you, but because I could never get what he got. All right, all I know is there were sensations happening, and I couldn't identify them, but he just knew exactly what it was. He was just, and so, but there's only in every era, if you look at that from day one, it's always been that way. Way back when, you had the Flock brothers, before his death, you had Fireball Roberts, you had Junior Johnson, you had guys, Freddie Lorenzen, Leroy Yarborough. I mean, you think back, Cale Yarborough, Jaws in his day, Darrell Waltrip in his day. These guys had that certain shoot spot in a race car that they were just like, you could put everybody in like merchandise, and I believe that today because that's where we are. Today we're in a field of 40 IROC cars, and you got the same, 7 or 8 guys winning all the time. You got the same teams winning all the time. Part of it's engineering, part of it's the drivers. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. But end of the day, when you talk about an Earnhardt or these guys, like Earnhardt seeing the air, that's what they always said, he sees the air. But the results don't lie. I mean, we all watched him. I think his last Speedway win was Talladega, right? He came from 18th to the lead in 3 laps.
Yep.
I have watched that literally 500 times, and you just, and did he rough up some people? Did he run 3 wide on the bottom? Did he use other guys, the other 8 tires to get the thing turned? Yeah. But, he was, what I liked about him was he was a no bullshit customer. He was going to the front. What I disliked about him was he was a no bullshit customer. Okay. And I mean, he ran over me at Dover just for the sake of running over me. And after the race, I'm like, damn, I couldn't get any further out of your way. He's like, I was just teaching you a lesson. And he just smiled. And he just gave you that shit-eating grin. And I was dumb enough. I said, well, what was the lesson? And, but anyway, it's, you guys asked, I've been blessed to have done some of the things I've done. And, I'm no different than hundreds of guys out there that are surely to God, I'm thrilled that I got to race with those guys. But, I didn't have the talent of a Jimmy Hensley. I didn't have the, there's some of the, I can only tell you in my time, in my career, I got to be in the driver's meeting with the absolute best of the best. Mm-hmm. It was, I mean, I raced side by side with Richard Petty for 50 laps at Dover.
That would be cool.
I understand that it was Richard Petty's declining years.
Mm-hmm. But it's still the king.
But still the king. I had chills for 50 laps. Okay? I was sweating my ass off. It was 150 degrees in the car. I was cold from the chills, okay? I got to race with Dave Marcus and Jimmy Means. I got to race with some of the I mean, Darrell Waltrip, we always kid. The 3 races he won in 92 were the 3 races he came into my trailer to give me a driving lesson. Okay.
Oh wow.
And it was just, and we always kid about it because, because you had to do the Unical Record Club, you had to do the rookie meetings, all that nonsense. And, but you had, if the rookie meetings was always run by, they would just pick out a champion driver. So it was Rusty Wallace or Darryl Waltrip or whatever. And it was actually just funny how it worked out that the 3 races he won in '92 were 3 races he was the one-on-one with me,
Okay.
And well, what I should say, with me and Jimmy Hensley. And anyway, I was blessed to be able to race with some of the, my very first Cup race, I got asked to go drive a car for a guy at Dover, and my first ever event, I'm sitting between Neil Bonnet and Alan Kwiecki at an autograph session as a Ford driver,
Oh, wow.
And Ford was very high on me through a series of contacts. But, I'm just a dumb kid from Langhorne, just wanted to be there. I was a mechanic that just had a dream that I could do this shit, And so here I am sitting between, some of the all-time greats, and it was just, a real, and it's actually crazy because here we are, fast forward years later, my kid goes for an interview and he goes in there with a suit and tie and Eddie and Leonard like, oh my God, you look at your father, how's your dad doing? Yeah. The whole interview was them asking my kid how their dad's doing, and he gets the job.
Well, your son actually works for for my favorite race, or did for my favorite race car driver. I'm a huge Brad Keselowski fan.
Keselowski is a great guy.
I've tried to actually get him on, but he's never answered.
Yeah,
me.
let's not focus on your failures with a jackass. Let's focus on your successes with a legend.
He's not a jackass.
Well,
he's awesome.
No, he's a legend though.
No, I mean Brad.
I'm talking about Tony.
I mean, it's not like I got Kyle Busch. I'm trying to get Kyle Busch on or something. Sorry, not a huge fan of him.
Why would you even bother?
Thank you.
Why?
Him, Denny Hamlin, just cannot stand them.
I got to tell you a Kyle Busch story. We're at Pocono. He comes there as he's absolutely a cold ass rookie. Just came out of Legend Cars. He's driving Hendricks number 87 Ditech, whatever. Mac Gaddy race car, and the crew chief on his car at the time, here I am, married, kids and everything, divorced, whatever, living on the road. So I end up living at Gordon Gibbs's house. Gordon Gibbs was crew chief for Hendricks satellite program with Busch. So I sit on the fence next on the pit road next to him, prior to driver introductions, and I said, listen, you've got the absolute fastest car here. All you have to do to win this race is be rolling at the end. I said, but if you mess with the regulars who are in this deal chasing points, it's going to bite you in the ass. So if you guys will go down memory lane and go look up Kyle Busch's first ARCA race at Pocono in 2000, 2001, somewhere back in there.
Yeah.
You will see a monumental wreck where him and Ron Cox go into the first turn fence and blow up in a ball of flames.
Oh, wow.
Because he roughed up Ron Cox coming off of the turn 3 going down the main straightaway. And Ron Cox just right reared him getting in the corner. I try to explain to the guy, don't do this shit to the regulars. This is what we do for a living. You're coming in here, you're on the ABC, the ARCA Busch Cup deal. You're coming and going really quick, but we're here doing this. This is how we make our living. Don't screw with our living. And he come in there, he didn't want to hear any shit that anybody had to say. And he could have easily lapped the field. And he ended up, that thing was taken. I mean, that car was graveyard dead when they took it back. Okay. There was nothing you're going to say about that race car. And he's such an ignorant, arrogant asshole And, and it's just, look, he's done great. It's awesome. I'm happy for him. He's one of the best. If I was a car owner at that level, he'd be the guy I'd choose. But he's not the most nicest guy, okay?
Well, you can tell that from all his interviews, especially the one like where he said, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Keselowski, I got to tell you, Kez still gets it. I raced with his dad. Kez was just a kid when we raced ARCA with his dad.
And that was Brian Keselowski, right? Or Bob or Brian?
Brian's his brother. Okay. Bob is his dad.
Gotcha.
Bob, hard-nosed guy, ran Chrysler products in ARCA. At the end of his career, when I was first coming in there, after I had, I'd run Cup and I figured out, running 35th every week's not paying the bills. And then we ran what actually happened in my career. We went to Pocono, or went to Michigan in 95. Truck broke down on the way, got there late, went down pit road, got through tech inspection late, went down pit road to make a lap to go. In NASCAR's world, if you don't make a lap in practice, you're not allowed to qualify. So here we are hustling to get on a racetrack, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, so hood pins got forgotten, hood blows off. So we never make a lap. We take the green. We never take the next lap by. We don't get scored a lap. We can't qualify. So here we are at Michigan, Goodyear tires on the car, hood tore all to hell, and NASCAR says we can't qualify. Like, what the frick are we going to do? So at that time, we just rolled over. We pounded the shit out of the hood, straightened everything out, rolled the car over to the Cups or the ARCA side of the garage. Now, you have to understand, this is 1995. It's the middle of the Hoosier Tire War. We're the only Goodyear car in the race. So, because that's what we bought.
And so Goodyear probably wanted you on there.
Well, I don't think Goodyear gave a shit. But, here we are.
Okay.
We're the only Goodyear car in the race. And went from being a back marker 35th on the Cup side to being able to race with Jeff Purvis and Finch's car running up front in an ARCA race. And we come down pit road, and I didn't have any money. So when I came down pit road for tires, I fully expected the guys to come over the wall with scuffs, and the guys come over the wall with brand new Goodyears.
Oh, you did this story on that show. I love the story.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And I'm screaming into the radio to my Uncle Tom, what's going on? Where the hell are we coming up with $2,000 to buy tires, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, calm down, everything's going to be fine, blah, blah. And then his voice comes over on the radio, Don Hawk, who got me my very first Cup ride. He said, those tires are compliments of Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. And I just went, huh? So, I mean, you can go back and look. We ended up fourth. We were fast enough to win, the woulda, coulda, shoulda bullshit, but we were fast enough to win. L.W. Miller puked the motor in front of us. We got pinched in the fence between them. Both sides of the car were bitch slapped. We still finished fourth. Jeff McClure and I beat the hell out of each other the last few laps. And there's a personal story there because Jeff and I shared a building in Denver, North Carolina. So we were just beating the tar out of each other for fifth, But, but the whole deal being, that's when I realized my guys were like, here we are on ESPN getting interviewed. We made more money running in the top five than we would have made running 35th in the Cup deal at that time. And that kind of convinced us that we needed to go to the ARCA side of the fence because I knew talent-wise I could get it done. But we just couldn't. We couldn't out-dollar them on the Cup side. You just can't. There's just and it doesn't matter who you are. You can't go in there and it's a cubic dollars thing, and there's, listen. I'm the firm believer in the American dream, but you're not going to go in there, no matter how much you dream. You're not going to go in there and beat Penske's 45 engineers. I mean, you're not, and you're not going to beat to cubic freaking dollars, you know. But anyway, back to Keselowski. Kes, we raced together with his dad. Kes was just a kid. He is the most grounded of all the drivers at the Cup level. Doesn't forget where he came from. Doesn't forget what his father went through to be a champion, to get him the opportunity to do what he does. And then my kid working for Keselowski, you know, I I don't want to say I get the inside scoop, but there's no question my kid and I, we talked, and I love the fact that Keselowski's a lot like Newman. He's a machine. He just, he's a student of the game. He studies, he does the, you know, and don't get me wrong, they all do the simulator and all that, but Keselowski breaks the race down. He analyzes past races, you know, dissects the corner entry, corner middle, corner exit, on throttle, off throttle. I mean, the guy he's a phenomenal student of the game. And I mean, and I hate that he left to go over there, but I wish him well, and I really think he's going to raise their game up. I really think he's going to make a change over there. And I mean, we'll see. He might be good for Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher's a great kid.
Yeah.
But Keselowski is a quality human being. Just forget about the fact that he's a great race car driver. Okay, he's a great race car driver, and I just know, you know the deal. You become a lame duck when you announce you're leaving, and nobody means for that to happen. But no matter what, that's what happens. You know what I mean? And everybody kind of the start just kind of going out of their sails. You know. But Keselowski is a great race car driver. He's one of the handful at that level, and there's only a handful. You know what I mean? Larson and Elliott are sitting in identical equipment.
Yeah,
identical, and you see what Larson's doing. Okay, but you have to go watch Larson run a late model, a dirt car. You have to see this guy. He's just in a different zip code. And so there's only, I would say, in my opinion, Larson, like it or not, Kyle Busch, Keselowski, Logano, they're in a different, those guys are different. They really are. And I don't want to discount, I think Hamlin's a pretty good race car driver, but he's kind of like me in a sense where pretty decent, but never won the big game. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's kind of,
and maybe he'll prove me wrong, but it's Hamlin in particular. We did some stuff with the film crews and shooting commercials and that kind of crap. And, these guys don't even know that they treat people like shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just, I have to tell you, and I'm one of those guys who'll do whatever it takes to make a buck. Okay. Build show cars for Spam. We've built show cars for the Air Force. We've built, shoot commercials, stunt driving. I've done all that bullshit. And, we're shooting a commercial for Interstate Batteries at Concord Speedway. And we do 50-some takes on a 100-degree day wearing a 3-layer suit because the dude can't even say his name on camera without stuttering, And I mean, you just realize, and again, I mean, he probably don't remember any of that stuff, but the guys that were there being treated like shit, we don't forget.
Yeah.
So, and I just, again, he may, I think part of it is, like Truex. Guys like Truex don't come along every day. Guys that are stand-up guys that can drive the wheels off a race car who did it in a modified back home, and then they, I mean, Truex is a perfect example of, the guy was getting it done at home at Wall Stadium and just tearing the world up in a modified, got a shot in, Earnhardt stuff. And if y'all remember, it's in the history books, but the guy goes out and wins or runs second in Earnhardt stuff first time out.
Mm-hmm.
And, they get a contract. It's just because he's that good. And he's just, some guys are just in a different level, and I firmly believe that the best race car drivers in the country, other than, say, Larson and Busch, are not in the Cup. They're racing some Saturday night racetrack somewhere, and they just didn't get noticed, or they didn't know the politics, or they didn't have mom and dad's checkbook, or, there's some guys driving cabs on Sundays that defies any kind of logic, but because they could write the check, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
Well, yeah, trust me.
Sorry.
I understand.
I got off on a tangent. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I understand because I grew up all my Saturday nights when I was younger at Rockford Speedway, which I know like Rusty Wallace used to run at, Dick Trickle, and a host of other guys, and then Tony actually used to run at Slinger, right?
Slinger.
Yeah, Slinger racetrack.
Right. Slinger and Beaver Dam, Oshkosh.
And I know Tiff.
Wisconsin.
I know Tiff. You've been at the tracks. I don't know what your history is on that stuff, or if it was mainly like straight track or.
No, I used to go to the Rockford Speedway when I grew up. I used to know some of the drivers there and everything. Parents used to know them pretty well, so we used to hang out in the drivers area a lot because we knew quite a few people. So me and Rockford Speedway got me into the whole car world, and then from there I fell in love with drag racing. So,
but yeah,
went from there.
We've all spent quite a few hours at the track, and honestly, that's a lot more fun than. Like, that's why I enjoy, like, watching, like, the Bristol night race and stuff like that, because it does kind of go back to the roots. But it's still not the same as if you're out there on a Saturday night, Friday night, watching the local guys that you actually can go down in the pits, talk to, hang out. I can take my kids down with, and they're like, oh, yeah, you want to sit in the car? Go for it. I don't know, being the fact I've never been in the pits of a major NASCAR race, if that's the same, but like the local guys seem to have more heart involved with the community in a sense.
I don't know that that's changed. When the demands at the top level are pretty messed up. I mean, you can't imagine how many different directions guys are getting pulled, but you go to a guy like Logano, you go to a guy like Ryan Blaney. I have personal contact with these guys, so it's kind of like I can tell you straightforward how truly sincere these guys are when people come up and they'll do that very thing. It's kind of crazy. I think it's try to explain this to you, but they all have handlers and they all have these people that are trying to be the gatekeepers, insulating them and that kind of thing. But they're just regular guys, just like you and me when it comes down to it. And when somebody loves it or is as excited about it as we are, that's infectious. And it's, the guys at the top level, I wouldn't want anybody to think that those guys are not that way, because I've seen every one of them do what you just said.
Okay.
At many different levels. It's always a joke with Randy LaJoy and I. They were trying to make ends meet at Rockingham one time, and I bought tires for Corey. And I bought him 2 sets of tires at Rockingham way back when. I said, don't forget me when you hit the big time, And all those guys are that way. They love it. Kids come up, they would put them in the car. Yes, they would do that. But the problem is now, it's like a force field around the car, and you got handlers, and you got all these people. This whole level of, there's all these tiers and levels of bullshit that you got to get through, and you just can't. That's the one part that troubles me. I just wish I could get Steve O'Donnell and Steve Phelps and all these guys that are making the decisions. All right. Mm-hmm. I wish I could just get them all to go with me to a drag race, and let's go walk up to John Force's pit Okay, let's walk through there and see how accessible these guys are. See how different they treat everybody.
Yeah.
It's a complete different. If you go to a Formula One race, and I am just always so. Every year I go to Texas and Montreal. It's a guys' weekend thing. We just have this ritual thing we do. But you go there, and you have all the pomp and circumstance and all that stuff. But they have this mandatory deal where it's like an auditorium, and all the drivers are there for a Q&A, and they each have to do 10 minutes, and it's like the Free Speech Friday with Dave Moody. You can ask them any damn thing you want, okay, and they got to answer, and it's accessibility, and I get so pissed off at how what makes the peers in our sport. What makes it so that they have it so that you can't get these guys, that they're not accessible, that you can't. I mean, listen, nobody loves racing more than me. Nobody loves what I do more than I do. I eat, sleep, and drink this 24/7 to this moment in time. And, I love that my kids down there in the trenches doing it. But sometimes I go, what tea leaves are you guys reading? This is not rocket science. Okay, This is not rocket science. It's when I was a kid hanging on the fence at Trenton Speedway in 1967, when Richard Petty drove into Victory Lane, that guy hung around till it was dark signing autographs, and I have my tickets to this day signed by Richard Petty. Okay, and that impact on me is not allowed to be. It's not permitted. It's not done.
Yeah.
You can't get to. I'm sure that NASCAR's having an absolute cow over the fact that Larson's old lady is chugging a beer in Victory Lane. She's shotgunning a beer.
Oh, my wife and I laughed about that.
I mean, she's as Saturday night racetrack as they come. And, she gets it. She does. She's not, they're not. I love the fact that all of the glory and glitter hasn't changed the fact that they're Saturday night racers that made it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it just troubles me, and I know we're off on a tangent here, but it troubles me that it troubles me that the whole deal is the lack of accessibility, and propping people up that couldn't drive a hot nail in a snowman's ass as race car drivers. I just go, we've got some people sitting in prime rides in prime race cars that are, supposed media darlings who can't walk and chew gum. And I don't understand the whole agenda. I don't understand any of the politics of that. And to this day, that was the problem with my career. My career, when I was 30, here I am 64, but when I was 33, 32 years old trying to do it, I just wanted to be a racer. I didn't understand that there was political games that you had to play. I didn't understand that there was, when I had an argument with Bill Simpson, I didn't. It never occurred to me that I was making a tragic political mistake telling Bill I wasn't going to wear his shit because I was getting showy helmets and Design 500 suits and Diodore shoes and whatever for free because I drive, I race cars for a living, and having to pay somebody $1,100-$1,200 for a driver's suit to get a free helmet, I didn't get that. That math didn't compute then. It doesn't compute now. But you don't know who you're screwing with. Boy, I didn't get it. And so, those are some of the detours, if you will, that came along, and I was hard headed enough. I'm like, I don't give a shit if I got to sit and not race. I will never wear a Simpson seat belt. I will never wear a Simpson glove. I will just never do it because I just, because the guy just made it clear that I was a peon and his shit don't stink. And I'm like, who the hell are you? We both put our pants on one leg at a time, bud. Just don't play that shit with me. But
yeah,
I was too ignorant to understand that there was political equity, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, sorry, I got off a tangent there. But
no, you're fine.
Anyway,
and I know, like, after listening to some of the other stuff and that, you actually, and I don't know, I'm assuming a lot of the drivers from like the early 90s and stuff, like my first hero for racing was Davey Allison. And I believe you were talking about, there was a story on there that when he ended up getting hurt, you were the one that brought your car in there so they could do like the molding for his arm and everything, or his shoulder.
Yeah, well, our shop, we were from Pennsylvania. Literally, Pocono Racetrack was an hour and a half tops on a slow day from our shop. So, and we were already, at the time, we were driving Fords. We had a relationship with Ford. My first Cup race was in a Ford because of past Ford relationships. Anyway, so when Davey, Larry McReynolds was sending us spindles and stuff to work on when he was at Yates. And then we had Ernie Elliott was literally, this is before the world is the way it now. We literally would have ship a front clip on a Greyhound bus. We have to go to the bus depot to pick up a front clip. But we had, we were a back marker. So they weren't going to look at us closely. Mm-hmm. And so the stuff that we got, if it was borderline legal or whatever, and, the guys that are running for the championship couldn't test that shit because it was, you didn't know if it was going to work or not. So they put it on, and we were dumb enough to go, hell yeah, I'll try it. I'll run 200 miles an hour with that shit in my car. If we tear the wall down, it'll be okay, But anyway, so Davey flipped. Waltrip turned him coming across the short chute. He flipped. And we took our car to the Lehigh Valley Hospital so the doctor could make a prosthetic so Davey could get in the car and be able to work the shifter with a broken shoulder and broken collarbone. And then our sponsor at the time, they had a Citation jet that we were flying to the races on. They have to understand, it's all new to me because I just always drove to the races in a E350 van, But anyway, long story short is it's about a 16-hour drive from our shop to Talladega. And we all gave up our ride in the plane so that they could take Davey from the Wilkes-Barre Airport, take him to Talladega. We drove, but we sent the car up there so they could make it so that Davey could get in the car. And, it was just, we weren't doing anything to be heroes. We weren't doing anything except just being racers, trying to help another racer. And it didn't matter that it was, Davey Allison or Dave Marcus or whoever. It didn't matter, But in fairness, Davey was a great guy. My dad, when we were kids, our very first motorhome that my dad bought was a Banner motorhome that Bobby and Judy Allison had. And a series of circumstances happened, but my dad knew Bobby Allison way back when. And my parents bought this motorhome. So it was kind of like, it was a comfortable situation. And, Davey was on the fast track and he was Bobby Allison's kid. And, we felt obligated. I don't know how to put it to you, So is what it is. We sent the car up there. They made it so David could race the following week at Talladega, and kind of cool. I mean, I've said this story a zillion times to those that feel like listening to it, but for a dumb kid from Langhorne to be introduced as a charter member of the Alabama gang, and at that time you still had 50,000 people at grandstands to watch qualifying. So here I am, this dumb kid from Langhorne, barely making ends meet, trying to make the show, and I'm going down pit road here for crowd war. Right? It's pretty cool stuff, you know. And it's just, I mean, listen, the cool shit doesn't pay the bills, all right, but it gives you the kick in the ass to try to. It gives you this kind of, okay, we're going to make it. It's going to be okay. We're going to get through this week. We're going to get the next week. You know, you're making gains. You know, and when you're struggling to survive, the littlest gains are, you know, the impetus for going the next level, or going the next step. And I mean, we could have drew our asses up and went home and never come back, but it just, we always managed to find a, you know, silver lining in the cloud somehow, even though it was raining most of the time. And, you know, and don't get me wrong. I mean, we were treated by, the world is not this way anymore. And I hate it, but, you know, we got scuffed tires. We got used parts. We got new parts. We had a lot of people in the garage area taking care of us. And it was mainly, I don't know if you guys can even understand this, but the guys that are like me, that just have this passion and love it so much, there's a bunch of guys that love it just the same in the garage area. And those guys, even though we kill each other for a spot on a racetrack, there's this level of compassion and respect that, you know, I would do anything for. There's a number of guys that you could hand me a list of names that I just do. You know, whatever they asked me, they told me tonight that I needed to be in Sacramento tomorrow, I'd do it. You know what I mean? Because it's just how it is. It's just the code kind of thing. But there were guys like, you know, Mike Bean, Mike Porter. I can't even begin to explain them all to you. It's just guys that, and some of these guys have gone on to great successes. Some guys have left the sport. Cliff Champion left the sport. Cliff's a great guy, great group chief, but got tired of the bullshit, you know. And there's a bunch of guys in that boat, you know. And I hate it for them to a degree, but it's just there are a lot of guys, and I hate to say this because I don't know who the hell's listening and whether they're paying attention or I'm boring them silly, but, you know, there's a lot of guys in the Cup the top three levels, Cup Garage, Bush or Xfinity, whatever the hell they're calling it these days, and the trucks. A lot of guys have just gone through the motions because the paychecks are so good.
Yeah.
And there are guys there that they love it and they're ate up with it. But there's a really larger percentage than not of guys that are just like predicting the doom and gloom and waiting for the bottom to fall out. They're just riding the gravy train, making six figures, doing, you know, they get to go to the racetrack and they get to fly on the plane, they get to play race car, and they're getting paid six figures to do it. And they're packing it all away because they know the end is near. And that's horrible to say, but there's a lot of guys in that boat, you know. And I just, you know, I don't want to paint a terrible picture. That's not what I'm trying to do. But it's just like, I guess, try to explain it to you this way. You know, picture your kids playing t-ball for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just innocent and naive, and they're happy, and they're loving what they're doing. And there are some of us like me that never grew out of that. Okay, that never. We got older, we got wiser, blah blah blah. I made all the mistakes, but I never lost that. I love going to the racetrack, man. I can't tell you to this moment in time. I don't have a problem with waiting in line to sign in and paying the $40 or, I still love it, man. I just love it. I just love when the motors fire, and I love when the sprint cars are there and I can smell the methanol. And I love when the ground shakes and I'm 64 freaking years old, and I still get a chill when they play the national anthem at the racetrack. I just can't even begin to tell you how ate up with it I am. There's a lot of guys that are at the top level that are not that way. They're just going through the motions, and I get offended, so to say, and it's no disrespect intended, but I just kind of get offended with guys not recognizing the privilege that it is to get paid to play. You're getting paid to play race car. And I feel like there's in my heart of hearts, I feel like when you're getting paid to play race car, getting paid to do what you love to do,
yeah,
I feel like you should give something back. And a lot of them are just, they're just sucking the life out of it, and they're not, and don't get me wrong, the whole deal is it's like any business. There's ups and downs. There's politics. There's the water cooler talk. All that bullshit exists in NASCAR, and it exists at Belmont's garage. Okay, it's life. But I hate that there are guys making a living, making a lot of money, just not loving it the way we do. Does that make sense?
Yep. No, perfect. Totally.
It's across all sports, though. You see it all the way.
There's
NBA,
politics
NFL,
in everything.
Baseball. You see it in every sport.
Yeah, unfortunately, but it's there.
But I hate to do this because I'm having a blast listening to the stories and how, everything. Is there anything that you want to promote? Because I'm just about out of time on this. I just want to promote Wisconsin, man. I love going to Menominee Falls and seeing family we got out there. And oh, you do?
I love. I love Spotted Cow beer. Hell yeah,
So you ever come through Janesville?
That's just. Where the hell is that?
West.
We're what's known as what would they call it? The butthole of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
We're literally 15 minutes above the line from Illinois and Wisconsin on I-90.
On 90. How far are you from Slinger?
What are we from Slinger?
If you take 43 across, you're probably about an hour.
Hour or so?
Closer to us if you go to Slinger.
Yeah.
I've been to Green Lake. I've been to Menominee Falls. I've been to Algoma.
Then you drive right past my work if you go to Green Lake all the time.
my fiance used to have we had a rental house in Forestville. I love Door County. But hey, I'm sorry we're out of time, and I'm sorry I run off the mouth. You didn't get to ask me
no, you're fine. Well, next time you come out,
this is my normal deal,
Next time you come out this way, hit us up. We'd love to have you in studio.
Oh, that would be cool. So, I'd like to see that. See your grand empire.
Yeah, it isn't much. It's basically a basement with. Yeah, it's a basement.
Microphones.
So we're small show, and we're just trying to make the best we can out of what we can. So
no, hey, I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on, and I wish you guys the best. And if there's anything I do to help you, let me know.
Okay, and yeah, like I said, next time you're coming in Wisconsin, hit me up, and we'll definitely make arrangements to do a show and have you on.
Or we just go to Slinger.
That'd be great.
Or we'll just
Appreciate
go to Slinger.
It, guys.
All right. Well,
There you go.
again, this has been Andy Belmont, and guys, check him out on Facebook. Check YouTube him. I mean, some really cool stuff on there. So, again, have a good night, sir.
Take care. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Take
no
care.
problem. Bye.
And dead air. There's dead air.
Hold on.
Dead air.
Sing it away.
Lots
Hold on,
of dead air.
I'm just trying to clear out everything on
Dead
here.
air. Still dead air.
Now I've opened something else up.
Ah, crap.
Do not give Dave computers.
Oh, wait, we remember what happened last time we gave Dave a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it crashed.
No.
No, he just made a bunch of sound clips that he's going to do right now because I see him typing it.
Oh, what the hell?
Haha.
Damn,
I didn't want to interrupt him, so I just kind of let him talk.
No, you were fine. No, that was really cool, though. I mean, hearing some of the stories and everything else on it. And
You know, if he goes to Slinger a lot, plan a Sunday. Because you can sit right on turn 1 up by the racers' families. That's usually where I like to sit, is in turn 1. Because, I mean, it's probably one of the coolest spots to sit.
And the whole time I was trying to get Tony to talk about when he was racing.
I know, I just didn't want to stop him. So.
Yeah.
It was one of those
I just let him. Usually when we have people on, I just let them talk. You know.
What in the hell?
God damn it, Dave.
Is this what you do at night instead of jerking it?
A few moments later.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. I'm done. Boom goes the dynamite.
Hold on, I might be able to... Wait, what's this one?
Holy shit.
That was this morning.
And
That was
welcome
cool.
to the shit show called Blown-Pistons.
Oh, shit, I can't do that one anymore. We got a cease and desist on that one a long time ago.
Whoops.
My bad. Sorry, Gary.
Really?
Once more?
You really couldn't do that
Oh,
one, huh?
hold on.
No, it's trademarked.
Huh?
It's trademarked.
Aw.
But it's on a soundboard.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me.
Ooh, this one should be good.
Gotcha, bitch.
So when we don't have people on, this is what we do, is listen to Dave play with the soundboard the entire time.
Oh, yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Oh, wow, he's actually leaving. Oh, there's Gangnam Style.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Oppan Gangnam Style.
I don't know how long this is.
Gangnam Style. Oppan Gangnam Style. Oppan Gangnam Style.
Okay, I'm just going to kill that.
Thank you.
Good job. We're Raven in the studio.
How that song ever made it anywhere.
Stop it. That song is awesome. The dance is even better.
Dave got a soundboard for a second. I
Oh,
found
God.
out the
Found the sound.
Whoop'em Gangnam Style. Huh?
What?
Yeah, I'm talking to Tony. Andy? No,
No.
we were running out of time, so I let him go. He actually does come into... Sorry, we're talking to Hammer, and I realize that you're only getting half the conversation, so you're probably thinking, what the hell is going on? But he actually has family in Wisconsin, and so does his wife. So I gave him an open invitation next time that he is in the area. Just let me know, and we invite him in studio.
Yeah, if you listen to this replay, sir, don't. We are horrible people.
Like I said, it was awesome hearing the stories, and especially like the older race car drivers and that, and a lot of them, some of them aren't with us anymore. I mean, especially like Davey Allison, and just the stories he had. I know, like, if we'd almost have to plan like a full day to have him in studio to get everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just
I don't
awesome.
think you'd have a full day, man.
We'd need to figure out like
a whole
video.
weekend.
Do like a video interview would be awesome.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
Yeah, subscribe to our Patreon that doesn't work anymore, folks. Just donate to our shit.
Yeah, give us money, see stuff that
You gotta
don't
remember, like,
happen.
his first ride was basically like a 1950s old school, like, I don't know how he went straight, which it didn't. It rolled, but
I mean, it was just...
it made sense when he was talking about the leaf spring rear end of the freaking trailer front end. I was like, oh, that ain't gonna work. It's gonna squat.
But no, it was really cool. And again, I if he's still listening, thank you, Andy Belmont. It was.
And if you're listening to the replay,
well,
Dave sucks.
And that's it. Screw you guys. I'm gonna.
Oh God, look at what you. Take it away. Take it away from him. Do it now. He's starting.
Diddy Mao.
Diddy Mao.
Oh Jesus.
What?
Blown Pistons. Listen to a former NASCAR driver and Dave playing with the soundboard.
From Gundam style.
Is that what it feels like?
What?
To be on the receiving end of that?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, no. Fuck you for you taught your son something that drove me absolutely ape shit.
Which
when he's your youngest, when he spent the night and hung out with Bronson.
Yeah.
He would sit there and just go, ha ha. What the fuck? You are your father's son. So, Dave, can I introduce the gentleman who just sat down?
Sure.
No.
No. I'm just going to hang out.
One eternity later.
What is this nautical nonsense?
So,
gotcha, bitch.
So, folks,
now you know how it feels.
Yeah, I do. Folks, you've had the control of the soundboard before, sir.
Once before.
Yes.
It's not good.
You gotta take it away.
It was made in like the late 2000s. Are there any current sound bites on there?
I know there's this one we used to play all the time, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Stop!
I don't know what the fuck that was. It says John Cena, so I thought it was.
That was not John Cena, sir.
We just lost like 80
I could hear it.
people that.
Oh my God! How did we not lose the board?
That was
I don't
helium
know.
or
That was
something.
terrible. Stop it.
I couldn't see that coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, that voice is.
I'm gay.
Welcome, gay.
You walked me into that. Now I have to change my name. I have to get a new ID card because of that.
Don't worry, it's on a passport now.
Now
You
I'm just
click
gay.
the X.
Do we still introduce you as comedian, or are you average Joeing it now?
I'm just average Joeing it now.
Average Joe Dalton J. Pfeiffer, DJP.
Hi.
How the hell is Exotic Butters?
Oh, you don't know Exotic Butters? Dude, I'm going
to... mine's a play.
Exotic Butters.
Okay.
So,
that's it?
That's it.
That is it.
That's Exotic Butters. That right there is Exotic Butters.
This is 2 girls, 1 cup.
I know. Exotic Butters.
I think I want to clap those.
Oh my God.
Fuck. If you seriously played 2 girls, 1 cup for the entirety, we're all gonna be like. Bleh!
No, next time play that in the background when I'm doing the fucking commercial.
Or Blue Waffle it up.
It's been done before.
It has.
They bugging, bro.
Yeah. Johnny's got it right. Rest in peace, headphone users.
Oh,
It's still going.
What the fuck?
Okay. I think
Stop it. Step away from the soundboard, goddammit.
I think it's done.
I don't know. No, he's still clicking. Stop clicking.
What's fluffing a duck?
Stop it.
Red Rocket, Red Rocket.
Dave is watching a new style of porn.
Where in the hell are these Nerf guns that we so had before?
Oh God. You're gonna
Was
get
that
banned
someone
from
having
the
diarrhea through a didgeridoo?
Yeah, it sounded great.
So.
Oh jeez.
You could hear like the undertones of something hitting the water.
You got a racket every time.
Yeah, I know how that works.
It's just he doesn't stop. This somehow got turned into
Well, if he's listening to the replay.
soundboard. You just killed the show, Dave. You're killing it. It's getting destroyed.
It won't stop.
You can't. Yes, it will.
It's called clicking
And
stop.
there it goes.
Ha! I know how to mute the board.
Okay, fine. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'll shut it off.
Gotta update your sex playlist.
Again.
I said I'm done, Tony. No need to shoot.
No worries. I got you, buddy.
I'm still shooting.
I didn't get to shoot anything today, so someone's going to get shot.
Yeah, how has your
skunked?
deer season been?
Skunked.
I got to watch 3 shit trucks drop probably 50,000 gallons of shit in 3 different fields today. And then my dad gets to shoot a deer.
So
Look
how'd
how
you
he
do?
nonchalantly just loads it as he's talking. You can hear it in the mic.
Okay, I shut the computer off, man. I'm done. I'm done.
No, you got,
He's
he
not.
got muted. That's what happened.
Welcome back, Dalton.
It's good to be back.
You've missed some fun. We've upgraded the studio with Nerf guns.
Computers, Nerf
Yeah,
guns,
I left-
yeah.
And if you look behind you on the little storage
face.
bullshit prize box behind you on the floor, you'll find all the Nerf guns directly behind you.
Ah, my nipple.
Oh my
That's where I was
god.
aiming.
My nipple?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
I gave Tony the
I gave
equalizer.
you 8. There's 8.
Oh my
I am
gosh.
breaking shit.
You are.
Shit is broken.
What'd you break?
Oh, boy.
Don't worry about it. I got Nerf guns.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to supply everybody. All right.
I want one of those high-powered ones that I had before.
Dave, you're in the car. All right, you're the driver. What's your name?
Tony.
Tony, you're in the car. What is this, blown pistons? You're all in the car.
I like this
We all got one car. Everybody's got a steering wheel. Everybody wait outside. We wait for them to bring the money out to us. There we go.
Stop it. You just
Tony,
hit him
keep
in the
doing what you're doing. Tony, shoot a rally.
Not in the face.
I got a bag of guns. Anybody want a gun?
I'll take
I
a
don't
mini.
even- Is this loaded?
I got
Yes.
one left.
Fucking. It's not loaded anymore. All right, we're gonna unload all these guns. Right at Gary. This one's more your speed.
I like that one a lot, actually.
Yeah,
It's
well,
very
he's like
Look
a
at the
little
stripper
crack.
pistols.
this thing is
That little
accurate.
bastard's got power, though. I got one of those.
These are all loaded.
Fucking fuck.
So, anyways, how's everybody's
That was a good interview.
winter happening?
I don't even want to shoot anybody. I only know 2 of you.
That's all right.
Don't shoot Tiffany. She gets really angry really quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I just? I mean,
Dave shoots her right in the fucking sternum. Hey, where'd mine go?
I'll hide.
is that loaded?
It was loaded.
Oh, okay. You got the safety on. What kind of chump?
There's a stash under here.
Damn it.
Surplus. This is what happens when we do this shit again.
Oh, what the shit?
So, hey,
Oh, goddamn computer screen in the way.
You gotta aim over it.
I'm trying.
Well, guys, if you like this show, check out the other shows that we shoot each other on at
How
the
could
end.
anybody like this?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We don't even know why people listen to us.
But they seem to. They keep coming back.
They like to torture, I think. It's really what it is.
It's not in the face.
It's empty.
So how is everybody's beginning of the winter so far?
So far, so good.
I'm still working all the dang time.
I don't like it. I hate cold. It's depressing. Go on.
I got the truck running finally.
Hey, I seen that.
You want,
Yeah, it's
you
here.
want another gun?
Congrats.
My dumbass is continuously
Yeah,
on
take the whole
fucking
bag.
Clubhouse.
Nice.
But
I like people.
These are empty.
Now.
why?
I still need to do my project at some point. Eventually.
We talking Frankengoat?
Yeah. Finally got my headlights.
Oh, hell yeah. Only took you half a year.
Yeah,
God
it only
damn it.
took me like its entire life to find headlights for it.
Truce.
Some nice ones. I got
Funny
some
we
nice
have this
headlights.
book in studio while we're shooting guns.
What's that?
The Art of War.
I was about to say, what, Alex Baldwin's biography?
Oh, go.
Went too soon? Ah, fuck me, man.
What's the difference between Kyle Rittenhouse and Alec Baldwin?
One's getting off.
Wow.
That was actually not a fucking planned joke.
Pretty good, though.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Do you want to kill blown pistons instead of
no,
BHN?
You just want to kill us now, huh?
No.
No, I just didn't know if you wanted to go a different direction.
We can. I mean, Dalton's here. We haven't seen him in almost 6 months.
Do you want to do shots from the balcony?
We can if you'd like.
Okay. Well, guys, anybody want to promote anything real quick?
No, I mean, I was
Frank
already
and goat.
talking about it, but that's okay. It's fine.
Yeah,
You were
he
still
was
talking?
too busy shooting your bow.
No, I'm getting shot in the face. Sorry, it's hard to concentrate.
Cars.
Not
We're
the
going to
first
get
time.
you where you're going if you know how to drive us.
Is this Russia?
Yeah.
In Soviet Wisconsin, car drives you.
All right, guys. So check us out on Facebook. We are on Twitter now. Well, I am.
You're on
Gremlin
Twitter.
Dave.
Instagram.
You've been on Twitter. You've been on Twitter for a while. You just haven't been active.
Oh, Twitter. Yeah, I'm sorry. TikTok.
Yes.
I didn't do anything. I was going to do something with TikTok, and I
You
didn't.
did
tonight.
create a TikTok. Okay.
Yeah.
Blown pistons or just yours?
I know this is gonna go. Right?
What?
Hey, look! I'm driving my Mustang. There's a nice looking crowd.
It's only like what?
Not mine.
4
Mine's the wrong
second
year
clips,
for
right?
that.
I don't know what TikTok actually is.
It's just a video site with a bunch of videos.
Yeah,
random
short
stupid
clips,
shit.
right?
Yeah.
Basically, what TikTok is to me is
Shitter
just-
killer.
Well, yeah, and it's just basically random people trying to become famous.
Yeah, pretty much.
Boobies.
Just random
Lots.
people doing
There's
of
no
jig-
boobies. There's
Not on-
jiggling.
Successful about
Not
it,
on. No, yeah, no. A lot of jiggly boobies.
Because they ban pretty quick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if we went on there, I don't know if they keep us or not because I don't know how they're...
Our boobies are always jiggling. They
not
trip
our
us.
boobies.
Everything's Facebook now.
But-
Snapchat.
True.
Instagram.
Meta.
TikTok.
They're all owned by Meta.
So, guys, you basically look up any platform and try finding Gremlin Dave, and more than likely, hopefully it's me, except for Pornhub. That's somebody else.
You
weren't able to get that one, huh?
Wait.
No, I tried.
What?
I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
You should just see the way this guy folds his dick. He's the true gremlin.
So, anyways, guys, it's been Blown Pistons. Thanks again to Andy Belmont. Check him out on Facebook. And like I said, check out his YouTube stuff. He's got there's a really cool YouTube video of him doing a wreck, like flipping in the air. He gets out and he jumps on top of the car and he's like, yeah, like, excited as hell. And they're like, well, you act like you just won the race. He goes, no, my spotter's radio doesn't work. And I wanted to make sure I told him I was okay. But anyways, guys, it's been Blown Piston.
Blah, blah, blah.
By the way,
Blah, blah, blah.
6 years ago
Blah, blah,
yesterday
blah.
was the anniversary of me saying
blown pistons. All right.
You really blew that piston.
Yeah.
I did. So, anyways, well, fuck you guys. We are out.
Peace.
No.